Hey friends, Dietitian Jamie here, and today we get to chat for a couple minutes about hunger versus cravings. Here's why that's important. I suspect that you might be feeling suspicious of your cravings and your hunger. You may be apprehensive, you may be untrusting, you may be skeptical, and you may even, unbeknownst to you, be doing some traumatizing behavior towards your body in response to hunger and cravings when they show up, all right? So in the next couple minutes, I hope to move you out of that space and into a space where you can have a curious, confident attitude towards this, to listen to what your body is telling you, but also confidently do the next thing and move on with your day so they do not derail you. So let's dig right in. Hunger versus cravings. What's the difference? Hunger generally has a flow to it. It generally shows up at predictable times. Now, it may come a little earlier if you maybe didn't have a lot of protein at breakfast. It may come a little later if you had maybe larger portions or you ate something a little bit off schedule, but it's generally predictable. It is also a biological need. We do not want to ignore hunger for long periods of time. We do not want to delay hunger for long periods of time. Small delays are fine, but we do not want you to predictively, consistently be telling your body it's not safe, it's not time to eat yet, how dare you ask for that, all right? The only input your body has is what you give it. The sensory inputs, the food, the movement, the fluid intake, that's all your body has to go off of. And if you think about your last week and how you have interacted with your hunger, does your body know that you're safe and nourished and you have enough adequate food around you? Or does your body suspect that you're in a famine, this is not okay, I have no idea when my next meal is going to come and what it's going to consist of? That is a recipe for a lowered metabolism. That is recipe for harsh cravings the moment you smell something scrumptious. That is a recipe for just a path of inadequacy. And you may see that showing up in other areas of your life, but that's a whole nother topic for a whole nother day. But that's a little input on hunger. Let's talk about cravings. Cravings are typically urgent. They will be more severe and more frequent if you are not nourished well, because if hunger is not honored, craving is going to be the next thing when your body switches out of your brain that makes all your great decisions and intentions. And when your brain switches into survival and is like, I need something and I need it now, my blood sugar is crashing, all right? That is urgent. That is specific. That is often also a physiological response of like, my body's not feeling safe, or I'm feeling emotional, or I'm feeling triggered. There are things that cause cravings that are entirely not food related. And that's not necessarily wrong. That doesn't mean you're broken. It means you're human. It means you're human. All right? Now, what should we do with these? Both may go away or may not, depending on your own relationship with your hunger and your cravings and whether or not those can be honored. Both deserve to be heard. Both deserve to be heard. Even if you do not like the craving, shame is not helpful. Shame does not motivate you to better behavior, or if it does, it only motivates you for a small period of time. Curiosity will get you much farther. That's interesting. I'm wondering why I'm feeling like that. Am I stressed? Am I anxious? Am I seeking sensory input because I'm so tired of what I'm typing right now and like I need the sensory input of something to chew? Get curious about it. Now, there's 3 things that I want you to do next. One is pause. Pause. I want you to get curious. I want you to reflect. I want you to think about your day, all right? Think back. When did I eat last? Did it have any protein? Did it have any healthy fat? I'm sorry, but your 2 gram of carb, fat-free protein shake is not going to last you all morning. And if it does, your metabolism needs some tweaking because that's not enough fuel to get you through your day, all right? That 250 calorie snack bar is not a meal, is not going to last all day. So no wonder hunger or cravings come with a vengeance shortly thereafter, all right? So the first step is to pause. The second step is to portion control both. If you are going to have a craving, if you're going to indulge, you have full permission to do that. You are a growing adult. You can have the donut. All right? You can have the Pringles. You can have the pretzels. You get to choose. In fact, even just that posture of like, I get to choose, what am I going to choose, is a far more empowering posture than, oh, I can't, I shouldn't, that doesn't fit my macros, I shouldn't. I get to choose. I get to choose to have it, or I get to choose not to have it, but I implore you to choose a portion. All right? You can have the treat, but it probably would be smart to follow it up with a good meal. Even if you are having a meal of, why am I doing this? Even if you are having a meal, portion the amounts, the protein, the fat. This doesn't have to be like a perfectly candle. This doesn't have to be like a measuring cup exact. But what we want to avoid is we want to avoid going into the pantry, opening the entire bag of chips, sitting down in a distracted environment where our brain is actually on the fascinating movie, and then all of a sudden chips are gone. That's what we want to avoid. Have the chips, put them in a bowl, bring the bowl to the couch. At least then you make a conscious choice whether or not to go up and get more. Portion the dinner. Use a salad plate instead of a dinner plate. And then make a conscious decision whether or not you are still hungry and whether or not you are going to get up and get more. No shame in getting more. I want you to have the moment to pause and choose it with intention. And then the third thing I want you to do, so we pause, we portion. The third thing I want you to do is I want you to plan. In fact, I want you to plan to have an intentional treat daily. It is magical when we take that shameful craving out from under the darkness, when we take it out from under the bed, or we take it out of the pantry. Literally, when we have permission, its power diminishes drastically. I have been a dietitian for 13 years now, and it is magical how much power disappears when we bring permission. All right? Scarcity does crazy things to our brain. I can't have that. I shouldn't have that. We can't have that in the house. Makes you want it more. All right? So, permission granted to plan for a treat daily. I don't care if it's barbecue chips or if it's a Blue Bunny caramel mini cone. Plan for a treat daily. Plan to have one another tomorrow. Plan to have one the day after that. Ideally, have it with a meal so that your blood sugar isn't going to crash and drop. That's a better use of that. But we've got to get away from absolute naming good, bad, healthy, not. Real life is not that clear cut. There's a whole lot of mess and nuance in the middle. And we have moralized our food too much, okay? The same ice cream sandwich that you have named bad would be life-saving for somebody whose blood sugar is crashing and is getting down to dangerous levels. So how can something that's bad also be life-saving? So just to challenge that belief, if you're like, no, Jamie, I don't believe you, that is just one example to challenge that belief slightly. If it is not bad 100% of the time, it is not bad all the time. All right, there is nuance there. Yes, there are things that get our closer to our goals. Yes, there are things that are more nourishing or less nourishing, or fill a gap, or fill a deficiency, or maybe someone's allergic to things. Well, then their needs are customized to them. So intentional treat is part of plan. So we pause, we portion, we plan. The other thing I'm going to encourage you to plan for is I want you to plan for protein, fat, and fiber at your meals. We can do a whole video someday in the future about how to do that. But just think right now, in the morning especially, how you start your day is how your day is going to go. So if you want to keep hunger in its appropriate times and you want to keep cravings at bay, you want to keep your blood sugars balanced, and the best way to do that is to make sure you have some protein, you have some healthy fat, and you have some fiber, that's carbs, at each of your meals. Those three things slow down the blood sugar roller coaster and keep your hunger within the appropriate flow and appropriate general flow of the day. All right? If that was helpful, would you please let me know in the comments below or share this with a friend, because I deeply want everybody watching this video to embrace curiosity, embrace attentiveness, embrace nourishment. Embrace an environment that is actually going to allow your metabolism to heal and improve. And all of those things are hindered when we are hateful towards our body, when we are suspicious towards our body, when we are skeptical of our body, or when we are fearful of outside things that we have given more control than they should have. All right, that is my message for you this week. Like I said, like, comment, share with a friend, subscribe to this channel if you want more content like this in your inbox. Thanks so much. I'll be back next week.